Welcome back to the State Netball Centre, round 8 of the Sapphire series between the Bull Sharks and the Thunder. Sitting to my right-hand side, ever so reliant, Simone Nalatu. Welcome, Simi, once again.
Thank you, Dommy. Game 2 of 3. Looking forward to this clash.
Yes.
We see 5 take on 6. So
yes.
The Bull
Sharks just ahead of the Thunder at the moment.
On the ladder, definitely. We saw the Tigers obviously closely lose the last round, so we'll have to look at the table a little bit later to see whether that might influence positioning on the table as the this round progresses.
I'm sure we'll get the ladder up in just a moment. Here we go. So up-to-date ladder. So Ipswich Jets have snuck ahead of the Brisbane North Cougars, sitting on 116 points. As we look down the ladder, obviously, between these two teams, the Bond University Bull Sharks sitting, like you said, obviously 5th with 60 points, and the USC Thunder with 56 points. So obviously very close in stature in the ladder. So every point will count, every bonus point, everything like that will count in this game here, Simi.
Yeah, so looking forward to another close encounter where the Thunder will be wanting to put another win on the board. But
what's in your kombucha?
Not mojitos.
No, not mojitos. We weren't allowed mojitos because obviously drink responsibly. No, I'm very excited to see both teams play tonight. I haven't watched the Thunder at all this season, so I'm very excited to watch them go against the Bond University Bull Sharks. And like we said before, it's pretty much the game of the two coasts and two universities as well. So to the right, we obviously see the Thunder in the yellow and the blue, and to our left is obviously the Bond University Bull Sharks in the blue and the grey there. So how do you see this game panning out, Sim?
Yeah, look, I think when you look at the team lists for both teams, the Thunder are probably losing a few of their personnel due to injury. So it'll be interesting to see how this team, how the team gels. If we look to the Bull Sharks, we see Siggy Berger returning from her time with South Africa. Pue out at goal attack, Burns, Gaffer in the middle with Oxenford on the wing defence, Stridham on goal defence with Grant. But they've got great depth on their bench with Houston, Coles and Dykstra, coached by Cheryl Burns. So I think if you look on paper, the Bull Sharks probably have more of the cemented line, but if we take a look at the Thunder.
Yeah, so Thunder's obviously lineup is Serafina Wolf, goal shooter, Latu Mifal, goal attack, wing attack is Chloe Litherland, centre Nicole Gunther, wing defence and captain is Ash Unai, goal defence is Catling, goalkeeper is Alana. Sorry. And subs, obviously, Langsky, Keith, and Bigham, and obviously coached by Gary Passion.
Yeah, so that bench alone for the Thunder today are, players that have stepped up from that Ruby team, which is great, obviously, to have that occur. But we'll look to see whether that influences, the result of the game as we look to the game beginning very shortly. So again, probably, quite experienced across both teams. We see Serafina out of position in terms of what we've seen her during this competition.
Yes.
Been playing back in the defensive end, but
she obviously started off as a shooter in a junior level, and then obviously got moved to more that goal defence, wing defence role. And obviously we look at the umpires in Rachel Thomas and Brooke
Quilter,
yeah. Sorry, my eyesight is woeful. And obviously Bond University Bull Sharks takes the first centre pass through their captain, Kristen Oxenford. We had a late change up. Peter Coles comes on at wing defence. And I believe Riley Burns has gone to the bench before the game started.
So I think Riley Burns actually been suffering from the flu this week, so that's probably why we see her on the bench, but I'm sure she'll be injected at some time during the game.
Great rebounds there by Abby, and Serafina obviously finishes it off with a great shot. So interesting to see how Alana place on Berger. Obviously, Siggy Berger's was pulled up to the South African team for the World Cup. Probably didn't get a lot of game time on court, but has come back here, obviously more confident for the Bond University Bull Sharks.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the experience alone at being at a, you know, a world-class event like that, I think will help her, no doubt.
And I believe that Stratum, the goal defence for the Sharks, the Bull Sharks, got a 19-point-something in the yo-yo.
19.2, I believe,
yeah,
in the yo-yo.
Which is ridiculous.
Phenomenal.
Yep, it is something next level. So, obviously, congratulations to her. And Abby Latu-Mifau will have her workout for her in this game here, running against Stratum.
So the Sharks out to an early lead. Great connection between Gaffer and Oxenford there. They, you know, two of the more experienced players for this Bull Sharks, but really controlling the tempo and the pace early on in this quarter. You see Litherland on at wing attack for the Thunder. Has been running either in the centre or wing defence position. So I think...
Oh, well done.
As I say that,
Oxenford.
I put the commentator's curse on her, but a great
Unai has a crack out of
contest
it
there.
well.
Yeah, Unai.
Yeah, Josie Hungerford, I had a quick discussion over the space of probably 20 metres. She indicated that she's hurt her ankle, so unfortunate to her sitting on the bench tonight. So Chloe Litherland's obviously taken that wing attack role, and Nicole Gunther's come on at centre as well. So shout out to Nicole Gunther as well, a Caboolture junior, so close to my heart, up in the Bronx of Caboolture.
And great to see Nick back on court, as well as Josie, both returning from ACL injuries.
Yes,
so I'm glad to hear that it was Josie's ankle and not her knee.
Yeah.
Not that you want injuries to
I was holding
occur.
my breath talking to her. And when she indicated the ankle, I was just like, oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
So both teams obviously a little bit more settled than obviously the last... Oh, yeah, I was about to say, pass straight over. A little bit more settled than both the teams that we saw just before in the Jets and the Tigers. We saw a little bit of a scrappy first quarter by the two teams. And possibly a footwork call against the Bull Sharks there, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think, you know, being 6-1 down, the Thunder will be looking to make the most of these opportunities that they have to just settle them from a scoreboard perspective. You know, as we probably would expect, they're finding it a little bit hard to find their goalers, but I'm sure that will get better as the game progresses. Great shot there by Mifau Latu.
Yeah, and these two Thunder shooters probably won't have a lot of experience together, playing together, as in Wolf's obviously normally at the other end of the court, and Latu-Mifau, sorry, is normally back at that goal shooter role. So obviously it will take a little bit of time to get used to each other. Well done there by Oxenford.
Yeah.
Had her hand in a lot of things so far in this game, which is good to see.
Yeah, I mean, in the last game we saw the great contest between Katie Walker and Steph O'Brien, two, you know, great experienced centres, and I think, you know, seeing Oxenford is another example of that against a less experienced but very talented Nicole Gunther. So it'll be interesting to see how that matchup plays out.
And obviously look down the court, and Jada Gaffer versus obviously Ash Unai as well will be a great contest for both of those, both very aerial players. So a bit of a miscommunication there.
Yeah, it's just that final connection, particularly into Serafina, which, like we said, we would expect, but I'm sure the Thunder have been training for this and will not accept kind of what's happening at the moment.
Great contest there by Chloe Litherland. Just working patiently through the mid-court as well as the goal end by Bull Sharks. Oh, fortunate to Leah Puer. Just was missed on the baseline. Jada Gaffer obviously deemed that it was a bit too risky to go over 2 sets of hands.
Yeah, and I think the Bull Sharks will, similar to the last game where the Tigers were really looking for the bragging rights, having lost the first round. I think the Bull Sharks are similar in that position where they lost to the Thunder in that first round. So we'll be looking to even the ledger. Still very early on in this game, but with a 9-2 lead, the Bull Sharks have put themselves in a very good position early on in this match.
You want to say something about the bonus point and put the voodoo on them?
No, I'm not going to do that. I learnt that the last game.
Serafina obviously converts that. And obviously Grant versus Serafina in the goal end will be a good contest as well, matchup.
So the Bull Sharks being really patient with the ball, kind of choosing to take the low risk play rather than options that might be a little bit riskier, but it's certainly paying dividends for them at the moment, out to a 10-3 lead.
And I think you really need to do that low risk play instead of the high risk play early in the game, just to get your feet on the court and your hands on the ball as well, so build up the confidence throughout the game.
Have a look again with the 2 little generals for the Bull Sharks, Oxenford and Gaffer. Unfortunately overpumped that, but I think it was the right option.
It definitely was. It just needed a little bit more of a touch on the ball by Chrissy Oxenford, but she's playing tremendously so far in the game.
And working really hard to get the ball back, which is what you like to see when a player turns the ball over, that they don't wallow too much, that they
get straight back into business. Work hard on it. Oh, and great take there by Latu Mufau.
Yeah, and a great ball there by Nick Gunther. Stridham read it, but just wasn't able to get herself around in front of the ball.
So there's obviously a lot of time remaining in this game. So if you aren't doing anything and you're in the local area, come down to obviously the Queensland State Netball Centre and watch these 2 great teams have a crack at each other.
Yeah, the battle of the coasts we see at the moment.
That's it.
Between the Sunny Coast and the Gold Coast and the universities. The Bond University versus the University of Sunshine Coast.
Unlucky there to Unai. Thought Jada Gaffer went offside there. Great movement there by Siggy Berger. And converts again. This might have been one of her first games back for Siggy, possibly.
I believe she played last week.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Was her first game back when the Bull Sharks were successful in beating the Wildcats.
We'll look at a rolling sub here just behind play. Riley Burns comes on for Jada Gaffer at the wing attack position. So the 2 Thunder shooters are getting a little bit stuck on the body, trying to work together, which is obviously good to see, but they just need to make sure one holds and one moves if they do set up in that kind of holding position, both of them.
Yeah, and both Grant and Stridham are doing a good job in pushing them together, which is making it difficult then for them to be able to play off each other in the way that they're wanting to.
Yep. And they're trying to set up screens for each other, which is obviously good to see for 2 strong holding shooters. But they need to ensure that one moves off that hold and one stays.
So we see Riley Burns in there at wing attack. Oh, great little pick up there. Cleaned up the crumbs there, Leah Puer. Leah was part of the Queensland 19s earlier on this year. So, and Riley Burns actually was with the Queensland 17s. So again, great to see our young up-and-coming athletes on the HART Sapphire Series court with more experienced campaigners like Kristen Oxenford and Ashley Unai, Chloe Litherland, those players that have been part of the competition for many years.
Yeah. And obviously they've been playing against each other and with each other for many years since we were obviously under 17s. And Unai, Chrissy Oxenford, and even Abby Latu-Mifau was in a team with us, as well as Chloe Litherland. So really down the court you can see obviously the depth of Queensland netball, so it's really good to see.
So we talked, great contest there by Chrissy Oxenford. Yeah, unlucky to...
The ball needed to go a little bit quicker. Gunther was there for quite a while. Kathleen just didn't want to give her the ball.
Thunder aren't able to capitalise on that turn, or the turnover or penalty that they got, so... We talked about the use of tactical timeouts in the last game. So given the score and the fact that Thunder probably haven't settled as early as what they like, may have seen one, but Gary Passion choosing to let the players work it out, which is also not a bad strategy. And
obviously the captain and Ash Unai just there getting a well-earned, obviously, turnover, and they'll look to convert here. They'll look to obviously turn over another ball and decreasing this margin.
Great vision there by Chrissy Oxenford to suck the defenders in.
And it was obviously the two other attackers in wing attack and obviously goal attack in Pure and Burns. They obviously took their players out of it. And Eleanor was obviously looking for the hunt as well, so Siggy was home alone.
So with Bull Sharks are 6 in front, is it too early to call the quarter? Are we going to make the same mistake that we did in the last game?
I think it's safe to say Bull Sharks can have this bonus point.
May take these bonus points?
I think so. With a minute and a half to go, I think it should be safe. But
anything can happen.
Anything can happen. I've never seen it before, but anything
this
can
could
happen.
Be the first time.
You never know. We always, obviously, as teams practice getting the ball down to a shot in as least seconds as we could, so it can happen. I think they say a shot, generally a shot a minute generally is pretty normal, but you can definitely do it in under 10 seconds. I think we used to try whipping it in. And Ash Unai has the power arm the back there, so she would be happy to wind up a big one and throw it into a shooter if time permits. So with 40 seconds to go, Bull Sharks are just looking to secure this, obviously, bonus point in this first quarter.
This is a smart play there by Riley Burns. She was patient. She knew where her options were, and she waited for Siggy to open up.
Yeah, that was a great contest there by Petey Coles. Serafina just needs to get back into that circle as quick as she can. Once she's not used, she needs to get back in and hold her position or move around and make room for herself or Latu-Mifau. So Chrissy Oxenford will look to hold the ball here, and Bull Sharks take a convincing lead in this first quarter of round 8 of the Sapphire Series, 16 to USC Thunder 10.
Yeah, and when we look at the stats, Domi, from that first quarter, the real difference there was the centre pass conversion. So the Thunder only converted 62% of their centre passes, and the Bull Sharks were able to convert 85%. Turnover gain conversions and circle entry conversions were fairly similar, probably a little bit higher towards the Bull Sharks, but as you would expect with the score. But that was probably the key difference between
Yeah, and another one that we can pick out on the stats, obviously, Serafina Wolf is shooting at 50% at the present moment. So where the Bond University Bull Sharks are sitting at 88% for Berger and 100% for Leah Pure, which is really good, and 100% for Abigail Latu-Mifau, which is really, really good to see. Obviously, she's 7 from 7, which is a nice high quantity of shots. So we'll take a early break here and join us back at the State Netball Centre for round 8 of the Sapphire Series. Welcome back to round 8 of the Sapphire Series between the Bond University Bull Sharks and the University of Sunshine Coast Thunder. Bond obviously getting the chocolates in the first quarter, 16 points to 10. And welcome back, Simi.
Thank you, Tommy.
How do you see the first quarter?
Look, I think the Bull Sharks showed, that they are probably a more settled team in terms of their combinations. And we're able to maximise that. Great shot there by Leah, where she was sitting at 100%, but only one from one. So would like to 2 from 2 now, but like to see her go to the post a little bit more, just to
help out Siggy there.
Help out Siggy, and also just keep the Thunder defenders guessing in terms of who the shooter might be. I think we saw a lack of connection here in the scoring circle, which we would expect given that it is new. We're used to seeing Wolf down the defensive end, but is a shooter, so it's not like it's absolutely new to her. But I think sometimes those changes can work in your favour or against.
And it's the new connection between obviously Latu-Mifau and Wolf that will take a couple of minutes to settle in.
Yeah, definitely. And this whole front line for the Thunder is very different to the ones that I've previously seen. Through injury. More so than formal, coaching decisions. So again, that kind of disruption can affect teams, as you would expect. And I think, particularly in that first quarter, it did affect the Thunder. Yeah.
And obviously, Abby, being the more experienced of the two shooters, obviously taking another shot there. So she's still sitting at about 100%, which is really good to see. Like I said before, she's normally that goal shooter role. And has obviously got the experience playing over in the New Zealand ANZ League. So she comes back to here with a wealth of knowledge.
Definitely, and we saw her on the Firebirds court earlier on in the year, brought in to replace Romelda for a little bit during her time. So she's had more, lots of experience over the last year in particular, playing in both competitions, and we're seeing kind of the outcome of that. Serafina there, unfortunately, got done for a held ball. So things aren't going great. Yeah, great defensive pressure there by
Stratum. She faked that she was on a jump, and then obviously Wolf faked her, and then it just went on for more than 3 seconds, and then the umpire called it a held, which is good to see. So Kathleen just out of play there. Puez converts. So still 100% for the 2 goal attacks on court.
Which one's going to miss first?
I don't want to put the voodoo on them. I'm all for goal attacks sitting at 100%. You know that, Simi.
The difference, though, is Mia Fowler-Latu is shooting the lion's share of the Thunder goals compared to...
She's the more dominant one of her shooting circle, and she's now directing everyone out of the way. So, and what Petey Coles comes into play with a great intercept. Just stood in the right position.
Hey, take what you can get. She
exactly
put herself
right.
in that position.
And Unai does the same thing.
Yeah. Well read there by Unai.
We might see maybe a switch up with Unai going against Chrissy Oxenford later in the game, I would imagine, and Gunther going back at wing defence. Oh, great drive there by Latu Mifau on the baseline. Thunder working hard around the circle's edge. And great shot there.
Yeah, great shot.
Abby.
So the Bull Sharks in possession again. They're doing a really good job to continue to kind of take those percentage plays. Great cut there by Gaffer onto the circle.
Great arms over. Oh.
Yeah, unlucky there by Allen not to, not to be rewarded with that tip.
Yeah, it was great footwork around the body by Allen. Just unlucky on the last play or the last attack of the ball. Came in contact with the body. That's great grab there by Wolf. She set up well for that pass over, and obviously Lillian connected well with her.
Yeah, strong on the take, just needs to put herself in a position and present strongly so her feeders know exactly where she's going and deliver the ball. Well done there by Allen. Came out and challenged and was rewarded. Chrissy Oxenford, she's everywhere.
She is.
Unfortunately, she was out on that occasion.
Unfortunately, yeah, that time. Her big toe was out of the court. But yeah, she's having a cracker of the game so far. So
the Thunder look like they're just starting to settle a little bit more. So I'm sure that was something, wasn't it? She just threw to herself.
No, I think it caught someone's hand and she just picked up the crumbs there. So Bull Sharks are out to a 7-point lead early in the second quarter of the round 8 of Sapphire Series.
Only up by 1 though currently in this quarter. So, the Thunder, like I said, are starting to settle a little bit. Need to start putting these opportunities through the hoop just to apply that scoreboard pressure. And Mia Fowler-Latu looks like that's exactly what she wants to do. So even though the total score shows that the Bull Sharks are still, ahead in this game, it's actually a drawn quarter.
Yeah, for bonus points, yep.
And so we see a switch that's occurred in the Bull Sharks line with Leah Pure coming off goal attack and Riley Burns moving over into goal attack.
Offensive contact there on Abby, unfortunately. Not too sure. She must have backed into her player. Great drive there by Gaffer. And great attack of the ball on by Unai, and a bit of an air ball to Burns for
totally
her
first.
A pass. Yeah, sure. I'm going to say an air ball.
No, I don't think so.
Just the face that she pulled after that shot. I think she thought it was an air ball as well, but she'll take the pass.
Still got the outcome they wanted. Able to go to goal.
Let's see if she can.
Oh, that was definitely a pass. That was definitely a pass. So as we said that the Thunder had just started to settle, the Bull Sharks have been able to pull out the lead in this quarter and turn the ball over again. Yeah,
Abby just needed to put her 2 feet on the ground and wait for the pass or the player to come towards her. Bit of a rush of blood. And just off the back end of the court, we've had another change in Stratum going off. I think
Abby Houston.
Houston's come on at goal defence. But Stratum's putting on a wing defence bib, so there possibly could be another rolling sub coming up very shortly. That's great defence there by Thunder.
Yeah, did a really good job stopping those first options.
Yeah. And it was good that Kathleen obviously forced Burns to go nice and high to the player of Grace. Great pass there. And unfortunately, obviously, Chrissy Oxenford wasn't able to release the ball to Burns and had to go over the player.
So the Bull Sharks' defence is equally up to it. They've had a few held balls now called on them. Yeah, great pull in there by Berger. Overcooks the shot a little bit.
So a little bit scrappy in this couple of passages of play. So like we said, both teams started off quite well and quite nice and relaxed. Just in this second quarter, it's gone a little bit haywire with both teams.
It's nice to see Serafina Wolf, starting to, her percentage is at 100%. Probably still, on par with Mia Fowler too. So I think if that continues, then the Thunder will be able to claw their way back. But now they need to be concerted effort to actually get the ball to their goals, whose percentage is increasing. And that's really the job of Gunther and Litherland.
Yeah. And there was a great attacking, defensive effort by Houston there on Latu Mifau. It was unfortunate to get the contact against her, but at least she had a crack at the ball.
Yeah, we've been talking about our young up-and-coming athletes, and Abby Houston is another example of that. Unfortunately, did hurt her knee and sustained an injury on the last state training of the campaign going into nationals this year for the under-17s. But in saying that, it's great to see her back on court and on this court in particular.
Yeah, and obviously ACL injuries are quite prominent in our game, Simi. So it's good to see obviously all players come back from any type of injury, but especially obviously ACLs, because the recovery is quite long. And obviously Chloe Litherland, way back when, that was a step. Not that we're umpires, we'll let the umpires do their job.
No, but as the Thunder start to settle, they start to call this score back a little bit.
Yeah.
The Sharks, the Jets for the last game. The Sharks are, still in a comfortable position, but in saying that, there's still a long way to go in this game. So if the Thunder keep...
And they can't relax at all, because obviously Thunder will come back at them. There's better movement there by Gunther. On the top of the circle to Latu Mifau. And another great shot there by Latu Mifau, still sitting at 100%. So both teams this quarter, goalers are sitting high percentages. 3 out of the 4 players are 100%.
Nice shot there by Riley Burns.
And we have a tactical timeout.
Been called by the Thunder.
Yeah, that was an Ash call. So Gary Passion will call his troops in and see if he can inject some knowledge into the team, I guess.
Yeah, so each team eligible for 1 tactical timeout of 90 seconds per half. So we asked the question whether in the first quarter when when the Bull Sharks were able to jump out that lead, whether the Thunder might consider calling it, and they didn't, but they've decided to call it now.
Yeah. I think they need to change up a few positions. I would change up a few positions in the Thunder. Not necessarily bring anyone on from the bench, but just change possibly a couple of key positions around. Maybe even putting, like I was saying before, Unai into that centre position to just because she is that captain, she runs a tight ship, so she can influence her attacking players as well as her defensive players.
Mm-hmm.
So possibly that could come into play later on.
Yeah, we'll have a look. It doesn't look like there's any changes.
No, they look very comfortable, both teams. And there's that 90 seconds call from the umpires, or 60 seconds call from the umpires to players back on court.
So we see after that timeout, Stridham returns at wing defence.
Yeah, we'll see how both teams obviously react to the timeout called. So obviously the first team to settle into this game will be, and a quick 3 seconds there. Caught on the Thunder. So obviously Bull Sharks will look to convert this turnover here. Great arms over and great defensive play by the Thunder.
Yeah, able to keep the Bull Sharks to that one side of the court.
Oh, that's unfortunate on Abby there. Thought she got clean hands to the ball, as well as Allen. Great crack. Berger will set up and have this shot, which she converts there. So we've gone out to a 10-point lead to obviously the Bull Sharks. I haven't noticed the score too much. It's been quite even for most of the game, but obviously Thunder will look to peg back this deficit. And I think the ball has gone missing.
It's gone down.
It's gone.
It's gone all down to the change rooms.
Let's have a rest.
Yeah, look, I think, again, when we look at the stats that we have in front of us, it's the centre pass conversions that's really letting the Thunder down. They're equal in, 100% turnover gain compared to the Bull Sharks 83. So it shows that when they're getting the ball on a turnover, they're able to convert. They're just not being able to do it off a centre pass.
That's a great pass there by Burns. A little sneaky goal attack, look away pass. Both obviously defensive players had eyes for the ball and not the player, so it was easy to get in.
Thunder turn the ball over again. They're the little moments that they really need to make the most of to try and claw their way back into this game. They got it, down to 8 at one stage, I think, but the Bull Sharks have been able to, extend their lead back out again.
Yeah, and in this lead, obviously the Bull Sharks have, they're out by, I believe, 12 now. Would you, as a coach, make any not tactical, but changes to your winning combination sim to get maybe a couple of other girls in different positions that you have to try out? That was a great pass by Chrissy Oxenford. Or do you just stay with your
the line?
Tried and trued?
Yeah, look, I think it would depend on, given that, a lot of these players on the bench, or actually all of the players on the bench are from the Ruby team, and that does impact then their ability to play in the Ruby League next week.
Yep.
So I think that would be a consideration. And also how long the players that, how long Hungerford and Jessie, Jessie the shooter, Jessie...
No.
Can't remember her name. How long Jessie is out for? Because if they're out for a few weeks, then Gary Passion may be looking to try and give this combination some time. So if that's the case, what better way to do that than to have them, running out games? So I think there's lots of factors, to think about. All those things you don't think about when you're a player, Dommy.
No, I definitely don't. I play, and I leave.
Great intercept there by Abby Houston.
And there we have it. So going into the second half, the Bull Sharks take a convincing lead, 35 to Thunder's 22. We'll just take a short break and we'll be back with you. Welcome back to the State Netball Centre here, round 8 of the Sapphire series between the Bond University Bull Sharks and the University of Sunshine Coast Thunder. Bull Sharks leading 35 to Thunder's 22. Welcome back, Simi.
Thanks, Simi.
We're looking at some of the, obviously, stats over the course of this last half, I guess. Obviously picking up on some differences in centre pass conversion rate, 62% to the Thunder and 86% to the Bull Sharks. So that's probably where we see, obviously, the major difference. Did you pick up on anything else, Sim?
Yeah, look, definitely. I think what the Thunder did really well is increase their shooting percentage, which was great to see, because they were definitely getting opportunities at goal. And I think that when they did do that, we saw that this score, the margin started to decrease. However, unforced errors and turnovers gave the Bull Sharks the lead back, and were able to extend that margin a bit more. We see that there are a number of changes, which is probably what we would have expected for both teams, but in particularly in the Thunder. We see the introduction of Olivia Lansky in at centre, who will add more speed and kind of dynamic movement through that centre court. And we see a switch with Serafina Wolf moving out to goal attack and Mia Latu going into goal shooter, which I think is actually a really smart move. It'll just Litherland and Wolf though need to make sure that they're doing their work to get the ball onto edge with Lansky.
It's not a change of the dynamics. Obviously, Lansky is probably more of an attacking player than Gunther. Gunther's been obviously more that wing defence role. So Lansky brings in a different element to the game, I guess, and obviously changing up Latu Mifau to goal shooter and Wolf to goal attack will change up a few things as well. So I'm interested to see how all those changes play into this game. Obviously the Bull Sharks haven't changed much in their team. Obviously
they're pure. We're back on at goal attack, and we see Peter Coles back on at wing defence with Strada moving over to goal defence. But it's probably quite settled in terms of what they would be used to and the way in which Cheryl Burns likes to move this team around. And why wouldn't you? You've got great depth on the bench to allow you to do that.
And obviously we haven't seen Dykstra just yet with Siggy Berger coming back as goal shooter, but she was obviously really solid in all the games that we've previously commentated Sim, so I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't get a run tonight. Just being more, obviously the difference is kind of slowly going away from the Thunder.
Yeah, I think Olivia would provide another option and dimension for them, and when they've got a handy lead, why not explore some other things that they might not have when it's tight. And saying that, when Berger was away at World Cup, I thought Dykstra more than handled her time on court. So it would be more around exploring those opportunities rather than giving her a go. Because of the leads, they've been able to build this lead.
That's exactly what I was saying. Like Dykstra obviously held her own when she was put on court for those. Oh, well done to Olivia there. Got a turnover.
She's got great speed and elevation, Lansky.
Latu Mifau, I think, possibly might have pushed her a little bit. And maybe that face was just to make sure that the umpires
didn't see it.
Yeah. Here we have it again. We need a speech bubble for her. Just overcooks that pass there for the Bull Sharks. So a little bit scrappy to start off this third quarter here.
Scores are even in this quarter.
Hips.
Turn and let it go. She's got a great arm on her, needs to get over that mess, but also needs options to throw to.
Yep. I really liked Chloe Litherland in wing attack. Haven't really seen her much in that attacking position, but she's doing quite well with obviously the two shooters.
Yeah, no, I agree. She's more of a defensive centre court, so it's great to see her add, the wing attack position into her game. And the wing attack obviously having to do more of that attacking work and try and create some of that play and allow her goal attack and centre to read off her, entering down to the circle. So I think, Litherland's done a good job at being able to do that this afternoon. This evening, as we go into the evening. We've been here since this afternoon. But
I know. It's night time now.
Stridham read that.
I think she just needed to two hands to that. She did the hard yards and driving nice and hard to the pocket of the court, but just put one mitt out to it.
Oh, great get there by Kathleen. Yeah, I think what Stridham did was put doubt into Lansky's mind and allowed her to, and she was very smart because she didn't put herself in the context to get pulled for the penalty. She waited for the error to occur. But Kathleen did a great job in getting the turnover back for the Thunder. So, they'll be looking to score from this.
Yeah, and Ashley Unai is doing well with helping her attacking and really bringing the ball down, getting in that centre position or centre cohort or area of the court, I guess, to obviously open up her vision as well.
Yeah, great strong take there by Nifau-Latu. Double defended, but just went strong for the ball. Oh, great get
there we
by
have it.
Unai. That's a great
comes into it.
Unai steal.
Oh, no. And not to
Oxenford,
be outdone by Oxenford.
Says whatever you can do,
I can do better. Definitely.
They were both pretty good.
Yeah.
Saying, but
maybe a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, great balance there by Berger.
Yeah. Couple of rolling subs. Lansky's off. Gunther's back on.
Gaffer's off for the Bull Sharks and Burns is back on.
A wing attack there. Great hunt there by Grant and great pickup as well.
Nothing going right for the Thunder shooters in that little play. They started to solidify their combination a little bit, but I think as the game goes on, fatigue sets in. Those sorts of things start to break down, unfortunately.
And obviously this is really good for the Bull Sharks' percentage, as well as obviously, as we've spoken before, bonus points are essential to up your points in the ladder as well. So
we'll have to look at that later, but I thought that the Bull Sharks were 15 behind the Tigers, so we'll look at that at the end of the game, because depending on how the rest of the game pans out, the Bull Sharks could maybe move themselves closer to the 4.
So it's getting a little bit out.
The lead pushing out a bit, isn't it?
Just 42 to Thunder's 26. So obviously Thunder just need to pretty much get the... No, I think they just need to put the scoreboard out of their mind and just focus on the little wins and obviously work on their centre pass conversion rate is a little bit low, 67%. So obviously just working on the little things there. So taking out the full difference in the obviously 43 to 27 out of the minds, and then work on the little aspects.
Yeah, I agree.
Petey Coles.
Great intercept, well read.
Just comes out of nowhere and a footwork call there on Puer, unfortunately. There's that arm of Unai.
Yes. I think the Thunder are getting caught when they only have one option. So on that one, Litherland was the only option, so it was really easy for Cole to make a decision on whether to come through for that intercept. And on that last play, Litherland, I believe, who was driving to the pocket, was the only option. And Wolf had no option but to give it to her and unfortunately overcooked the pass. So, no, I think I agree with you, Domi, what you're saying. Just going back to those really key basics in netball: catch, land, read off the player.
Sounds
have two
so
options.
simple,
So
doesn't it?
simple in reality.
Yeah. But yeah, it just comes down to those 1%ers as we look through. Obviously, the Thunder have a few handling errors, a few missed shots, and obviously some bad passes there. So,
but we saw a great captain's win again by Ashley and I.
I
She's
missed
not
it.
willing to lay down, and nor should she. There's still, like you said, there may not be opportunity the margin may be too big. However, there are still bonus points on offer, and they are more than capable of putting together more passages of play. And we've seen some really good passages this afternoon. It probably hasn't been enough.
Yeah. And 14 points is not not an easy difference, but you can definitely bring it back one goal at a time. So Thunder will just have to. Oh, I thought she stepped in there. Unfortunate to Catling there.
What I'm loving about these Thunder defenders is that they're not prepared to lie down.
Yeah.
Both Unai and Catling and Alan are going for absolutely everything, and they know that they have to, but that's a great example again.
Yeah, persistent pays off in most instances, Simi. So interesting to see how this quarter ends off, and obviously heading into the fourth quarter as well.
So it is a bit closer. The Bull Sharks are only up by 2 in this quarter. So the Thunder have an opportunity to win this quarter, and they've certainly had their opportunities to do that. They just, I think their defensive line is doing a great job in winning the ball, and whilst their attack line, you can see them trying really hard. They need to start executing a little bit more, and they're more than capable of doing that.
Great pull in there by Serafina.
Great touch there by Oxenford, able to disrupt that pass, and her teammates were also great in making sure that they cleaned up the crumbs that she had provided for them.
Yeah, and we see that Grant's had a well-earned rest on the bench, and Abigail Houston comes on at goalkeeper as well. So
great play there by Puer. She's very creative. She's often not sure what she's doing.
She's sometimes not sure, or anyone else is not
if
sure?
If you ask her, she's sometimes not sure, but I think she is.
Works out.
Great creativity, and likes to set up her shooter really well, which I think is why this combination with Berger is working so very well.
And it's essential as a good goal attack, obviously, that you can hold your own, but you also set up your goal shooter as well.
Yeah.
Great pull in there by Latu Mifau. Serafina put her under a world of pressure. Latu Mifau was up to the game. And there's a rolling sub there. Olivia Darkstra's on that goal attack.
Yeah.
So haven't seen her in goal attack, so I'm interested to see how she goes.
Yeah, look, I think Olivia is a quite raw in terms of her what her potential is. She's got huge potential, but for a tall athlete, she is extremely mobile.
Yep.
And extremely accurate on her shot. So I think this is a great example of what we were talking about before, Tom. Cheryl Burns, the Bull Sharks coach, wanting to explore what options she has, and what a great time to do it.
Definitely.
Under some, really tough defence in both Allen and Catling.
Yeah.
So
and obviously the two talls as well be a different dynamic to obviously the tall and the short. So I'm really interested to see how obviously Burns and as well as Oxenford feeds the two talls.
So Olivia is also a Queensland basketballer. So represented Queensland for both basketball and netball this year. We're hoping that stays with us, but it's great, that we have an athlete
she can play all the sports.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, we hope that she stays with us, but it's great to see her on the basketball court.
Great from Houston.
Yeah, Abby Houston.
went up with one hand, was able to kind of claw it in and then go up with, obviously, go around with two. Tricky skill to have, obviously, as a young player, as well as obviously an experienced player, to go around the body with one hand and obviously bring it in and control it with two hands.
Especially against someone like La Tunifa, who's extremely body strong and is extremely smart. So for her to be able to pull that off is, a great get for young He.
With a second to go, Oxenfield will just hold it out to ensure her team gets the centre pass going into the fourth quarter. So going into the fourth quarter, obviously Bond Univ Sharks leading 49 to the USC Thunder 32. We'll take a short break and be back with you. Welcome back to the Queensland State Netball Centre between the Bond University Bull Sharks and the USC Thunder. Bond obviously getting all bonus points this game and obviously leading 49 to 32. Simi?
Yeah, the Bond University have really stamped their authority on this match. They did it, really early on and got away to a cracking start. The Thunder, on the other hand, probably took a little bit longer to settle, but definitely have given themselves opportunities to, put themselves back into the game and certainly close this margin.
Yeah.
But when they've been able to do it, then they've just taken their foot off the pedal for any reason.
Sorry, Simi, that was
a
beautiful.
good play. That was probably their best play of the
Probably, yeah. Really started off by obviously Serafina turning around and getting a nice quick ball to her midcourts and really driving hard as well. So lovely play there by Serafina Wolf.
Hopefully Mifal Artu will reward with a shot, which she has done all day.
Yep.
Actually missed the goal, yeah. We'll have to get those stats.
Oh, just push. Yep, we'll have those stats, thanks. No, so obviously Bond University got out to an early lead even in the first quarter as well. So that's really set up their game. I believe they were out to a 9-2 lead in that first quarter. So set the paved the way, I guess, for the rest of the game. And obviously we see that lead extending right up to now.
Yeah, definitely. And from, meant that the Thunder were on the back foot right from the beginning. And I think coming into the game, they were probably on the back foot given, the number of injuries that their team has sustained. So just, not ideal. But to their credit, I don't think they've given, there hasn't been any body language to indicate that they've given up.
No,
it's just
definitely
things
not.
haven't, the 50-50 things that, sometimes can make or break a team haven't always gone the Thunder's way today. So, they still have an opportunity to win this quarter and certainly close this gap. 16, not impossible.
Not impossible.
Hard, but not impossible.
Yes. Offensive contact there on Latu Mifau, unfortunate, but was the right call. She was pushing back and into, obviously, Grant, and the umpire saw it, so great call there.
I think you just gave the umpires a compliment.
I did. I'll pat her on the back after the game as well. I don't like seeing the shooters get called for offensive contacts, but
why?
That was
they do it all the time.
Oh, boo-hoo. You're an attacking player, mate. You should be...
Great take there by Kathleen. Well done.
Well done, Kathleen. It's what we want to see.
Yeah, those sort of things.
Hard to ball. Oh.
Equally great touch there. Where
6 on the transverse line and puts out the hand and gets the tip.
But those sorts of intercepts by Kathleen and even Poyer are things that can really lift your team. And
definitely. I feel lifted. And I'm not
stood
doing
up,
anything. I did. It's like the gravity's just pulling me up. Get me back on court, Sim. If anyone wants two attacking players, Simmy and I can always run. Probably I can do
run for about a minute. Yeah.
I was going to say a minute. Maybe you can do a minute and a half, and I'll do a minute altogether.
So Thunder, another opportunity here to score.
Yeah. So really nice and patient around the circle's edge.
Using great depth, width, of the court. So they weren't coming just down through one channel, which they were a little bit guilty of earlier in that.
That's great arms over the bottom. Obviously, Latu Mifau stepped in, and Stratum really got up in her grill, really.
Great touch there by Grant to position Stratum to pick up the crumbs. So it's those little things, I think, today that have absolutely gone the Bull Sharks' way, but they've put themselves in that position to make them go go their way.
You can hatch luck in the game, but obviously, you got to put yourself in the right positions as well.
And create that.
Doesn't want to have a shot.
No, would like to see it go to the post there.
Yeah, great shooter pass
the outcome
there.
Right.
She did. That's the one. All right, so Bull Sharks have another crack at going.
Great touch.
Well done, has another, obviously, turnover to goal there.
Fantastic vision there by Gaffer.
Snaps to her. Great vision up.
Blair needs to reward her by putting this into the goal, and she does.
Here we go again. And Alan just reacted a little bit too slow there and obviously jumped up. And just in the background, serenading us is Jessie McCarthy, the blonde bombshell from way back.
Okay, Dommy.
Sorry, I'll get back to the netball.
Great challenge there by Stratum.
So obviously Thunder are looking to get this goal, and unfortunately couldn't to decrease the margin.
Yeah, Mifau Latu's been so reliable today for the Thunder under the post. Unfortunately not able to shoot that goal, but as a shot, a lot of the Thunder's 34 goals so far, so...
Yeah, she's been ever so reliable in that, obviously, goal shooter as well as goal tack role.
Sharks here working the ball around.
So I was right in the song. It's called Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney.
Thank you.
So shout out to him if he's alive. He's probably now 40 years old or something like that.
It's not that old, Dommy.
No, well, not in your eyes, I guess.
Great build up there by the Sharks.
Aren't you like 21?
And I love that. Quare backed herself on that shot there and went to.
We're about to see Burns possibly come. Oh, no, she's taken a seat. And well done, Petey Coles there.
Oh, unlucky. Great contest on the ball.
Yeah, gotta let that go and let them fight to the death for it.
Toss up. Bring back the toss up.
Oh, no way. I hated the toss up. I was really bad at it.
Yeah, that's why.
I like doing it as an umpire. Throwing it up and running away. So obviously round 8 of the Sapphire Series, game 2 between the Bond University Bull Sharks and the USC Thunder. Sharks are just leading 54 to 35 halfway through this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's still only 2. Well, the Thunder's only down by 2 in this quarter, so.
Oh, that was a push off by Latu Mifau massively in the back, but once again, obviously the umpires have a lot to look at on court, so just missed by the umpire there.
So only 1 point the difference in this quarter between the Bull Sharks and the Thunder.
Nice and patient around the circle's edge by Gunther and Litherland. Latu Mifau rebounds her own miss and has another crack at it and gets it in. So we're having a few rolling subs here. Girls standing up. So Houston will come on at goalkeeper, and I believe Riley Burns will go on to the goal attack.
And it looks like Mifau, Latu and Wolf have swapped. Oh, great get there by Uno. Unlucky.
Oh, yeah. She thought she had it.
I thought she had it.
I was singing. I missed it.
Shot there by Berger under the post.
And we're
looks
having
like
a
tactical timeout.
So in this timeout, we might have a look at the stats. Simi, so obviously Bond leading this quarter 6-5. They have won all the obviously other bonus points as well. So really handy for their ladder position as well. Obviously with the bonus points
on offer.
Yeah.
And the fact that the Tigers, who are sitting in 4th at the moment, suffered a narrow defeat to the Jets early in the first game of this round.
Yep.
So that's kind of emphasises the importance of the bonus points. So if the Bull Sharks were able to win this last bonus points today, then that would I think move them ahead of the Tigers on the ladder. But we'll have a look at that later on.
And you obviously get 2 points for a bonus point, is that correct, Simi?
2 points for a bonus point and 10 points for the win.
Yep.
So
on offer really 18 points for the whole game. So that will obviously jump them up the ladder.
But I think the Thunder will have something to say about that. The scores
they will
are 6-5 at the moment, and still plenty of time left in this last quarter for them to take out some bonus points for this game.
So fatigue's definitely set in for both teams. We see obviously the shooting stats for both teams taking a little bit of a tumble. So 75% shooting stats for the Bull Sharks and 56% for the Thunder.
That was a great ball there by Chloe Litherland. Just placed it in the perfect position on a really difficult angle and got it to Wolf under the post.
So as we look through a couple of the other stats, it's really even, Simi. So obviously centre pass conversions all drawn up at 67% for both teams. Turnover game conversion rate is 100% for both teams respectively. And then obviously 60% centre entry, circle entry, sorry, conversion rate for the Bull Sharks and 67 for the Thunder. So very similar across the board there, Sam.
Which is reflective of the scores. The Thunder jump out to a 1-point lead in this quarter.
Great pass there by Latu, me foul to Chloe Litherland on the top of the circle, and Wolf was able to convert that great passage of.
So great to see the Thunder finishing off strong. The Bull Sharks will also want to finish off strong given their, cracking start and the way in which that they've played this game. I mean, it's still close, but obviously they'll want.
Alan just takes a seat on the ground.
And
that ended up being an easy ball into the circle. I think she came in contact with the post as well. Now we have a bit of ABBA.
Yes, I know. I'm sure this is Richard's. I'll say it again. Well done there by Peter Coles. Came through and picked up the crumbs, but it was great defensive pressure by the Bull Sharks to create that opportunity.
Great shuffle shot there by Riley Burns there and finishes it off. Her good work in getting that goal there.
So scores are level again for this quarter. So both team, great eyes there by Jada Gaffer. And a equally great take by Berger under pressure. Had her Allen at the post, the sideline, and the ball to contend with. And did everything really well, including shooting the goal.
Yep. Oh, unfortunate there to Gunther.
No, but again, a great attack of the ball by Stridham.
Yeah, put the pressure on. Obviously, Gunther scared her out of catching the ball.
She's done that a few times this game, and she's been really successful.
Yeah. She might say boo to him when she's running to him.
It's that 19.2 that she did on the yo-yo earlier in the week.
Yep. She's able to still run
1,000
miles per hour and then still probably chat to her players as well as the opposition.
Well done there by Jada Gaffer. Really patient, able to find Berger under the post.
Good movement there by the Bull Sharks. Obviously very nice and patient, and great setup by obviously Siggy Berger at the back there.
Yeah, and Burns created that by that sweep around the front to cause the Thunder defenders to have to choose what they wanted to do, and in turn opened Berger up under the post.
Yeah, and it's obviously the body position of your shooter as well. So Berger really posted up and then obviously opened her body to allow the ball to get put into space, and obviously she was able to grab it.
So only 2 minutes remaining of this second match of round 8 of the HART Sapphire series.
A 19-point lead for the Bull Sharks. Quite handy, and I don't think a lot of the games within the Sapphire series has been this large in margin. So obviously credit to the Bull Sharks to continue their lead and push it out.
Yeah, and I believe on paper the Bull Sharks are one of the younger teams in the competition, so it's great to see them playing so very well, and not just in patches but throughout the whole match.
Yeah. Great solid pull in there by Wolf. Really dominant. Ripped it down. Ensured that she obviously had possession over the ball. Oh, that's very unlucky. Would have just let that go. Both players vying for the ball.
The umpire, the nipple gods, came back and made sure that the
right team gets the ball, I guess.
Is in the possession.
Yeah.
But great to see a goal shooter, defending and taking an intercept.
Yep. Even though they're technically an attacking player, always good to see that there's 7. Once again, just
it was great positioning there by Abby Houston, but
Yep.
an equally great take by Wolf. So
Yeah. I would have let it go again. Free for all.
free for all.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, well
great
done.
eyes by Chrissy Oxenford.
Yeah.
Over the back of Burns.
The vision and experience, I think, from Oxenford and Gaffer,
Yeah.
you know, in particular, I think have set up this attack line, you know, but absolutely, you know, Berger and Burns and Poir and Dykstra who've run out at the goal attack position have done a great job. So a great team effort by the Bull Sharks this afternoon, who will also take out that final quarter and the game.
Yeah, so very convincing win by obviously the Bull Sharks. 64 to the Thunder's 42. So a little bit disappointing for the Thunder, but obviously they'll go back to training and work on things that they believe they can improve on, and obviously the Bull Sharks will take some confidence away for that win. So we hopefully will get some of the stats for the game up on the screen for you guys to have a look. Just to go through, obviously, the Thunder's shooting stats 67% in that quarter to 83% of the Bull Sharks. So very dominant, I guess, quarter for the Bull Sharks with 83%. So 15 from 18 shots taken. That's pretty good with obviously the lead they had.
Yeah, definitely. I think, again, the centre pass conversions was something that let the Thunder down today. You know, when you guarantee half the ball in the game, you really need to try and make the most of it. And you know, a 61 to the Thunder is not good enough, and that wouldn't be good enough by their standards. Absolutely, compared to the Bull Sharks 83%. So when you're converting the centre part, the ball that you get, as well as any turnovers, at 76% for the Bull Sharks this afternoon. It's no wonder that they were able to win the game so convincingly.
Yeah.
In saying that, though, I think the Thunder definitely put themselves in that game during certain parts of that game. They probably didn't put enough together consistently to really push the Bull Sharks and ask some questions of them. Yeah,
so we're obviously looking to the last game of round 8 of the Sapphire series between the QT Wildcats and the Brisbane North Cougars. Join us at 7:20 and we will bring you that coverage.